Monday mornings, eh? Everything went wrong this morning. Exhaust snapped off my Yaris last night. Thought I'll bring it into the workshop and fix that, because I'm not going to buy a new one for it, because the car's going to be in the scrapyard next year, unfortunately, because it's all rusted out. Well, forgot that I put the forklift outside the back garage door, and it was -11. So now the forklift's on block heaters, so I can get it out the way, so I can get the Yaris in. That was a bit of a carry-on. So I thought I'll jump onto this gearbox here. This is the Spanish 110 original transmission that came out of it, and I've got it hung up from the ceiling, and it's just dripping the oil out. I've just slung it so I can get the oil out, because daft bugger me forgot to drain the oil off while it was still in the chassis. So what's it like so far? Well, not too bad. At the back I can see it's all been, you know, that red silicone sealer. Now that's not a product that I use. I always use the black stuff. But the gear, if you can see in here, is beautiful. So that's a good sign. Now, has it been changed or has it been stripped down in the past? I couldn't find really any fault with this gearbox. The transfer box, it seemed to be nice, but there's that blue RTV and orange RTV all over the place. So it's been in something's been in it before, but I thought to myself, well, seeing it's cold outside, I can't get the bloody forklift started. I thought, well, let's pull this apart, because like I say, I have to do a parts order to the UK, so I want to maximise that order. And you know, if it needs synchro rings or anything like that, now's the time to get them. But I've been really pleased with the engine so far. There's bits of it on the bench over there. I balanced the rods and the pistons. The pistons were absolutely perfect. There wasn't 1 gram between all 4 of them. Unbelievable, eh? Now, I'll probably test the original bearings for the rods with some plastic edge, and if they're okay, I'll just put them back in again. The thing is that there's no wear through to copper. There's nothing. But I will change the rings. There is a reason for that. When you buy rings new, they've got a sort of a chamfer on them, and when they sort of wear in, that becomes sort of parallel a little bit. And I thought it might be a nice treat to put a set of brand new rings in. All right, so I could do bearings as well, but if these are okay, there's no point buying everything for them. It's turning out to be quite a cheap little rebuild, actually. I've got the cylinder head down here on the floor. Going to have a look at that later. But I'm just leaving this gearbox here just to drip away whilst I have lunch, and then we'll start to put those pistons on those rods over there, put them in plastic bags, keep them all clean, and then we'll get this gearbox out. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Wait and see what it's like. I'm quite fortunate in this bottom shop. There's a RSJ in the roof, a big one, because it used to be a machine shop before. They used to use it for lifting bits and pieces out of lathes and milling machines. Anyway, it's come in damn dandy for this job, so I can run my parts washer under the gearbox and get all the, you know, the major dirt off before I strip it. Actually, it's quite clean. I was quite surprised. It's coming on really well. There's just a lot of mud, and the problem with mud is it don't come off with in the parts washer because there's no oil. But I'm not too bothered about that. But what I really wanted to show you was all this blue silicone here. Can you see it there? All round here too, you know, you can see a lot of blue silicone. Look at it. See, that's how it comes off with a bit of petrol. Yeah, I think somebody's been into this transfer case before. Anyway, I'm going to let this soak over lunch. Hopefully you can get it, you know, softened up a bit. But it is, it's like clear. What the hell is it? Yeah. But it's just nice to work on stuff that's, you know, before you strip a gearbox down or anything like that, clean it as best as you can. Well, this was a bugger to get apart. there's blue silicone absolutely everywhere. But thanks to the dismantling tool, we got in there. So we're going to have a look and see what it's like. Now I hope I can get this out without doing myself a mischief. I'm out or else. Oh, I see, they've got a stud down here that's really long. Oh, now the input shaft of this gearbox is a bit loose. Look at that, a beauty. Can you see? I'm holding this. There you go, look at all this silicone, and you can see, oh yeah, it looks like somebody's been in this box. Oh, what have they done? This ring's pretty chewed up here. But it was full of oil. Now why did that get oil in there? Seal doesn't look too bad. Hard to say. Hard to say. Isn't that awful? Now I'm in the dilemma now. Which one do I keep on this parts washer? Because I'm wondering if this gearbox will just lift up. I'm not sure. The things you have to do to try and work things out to make life a bit easier. I think what I'll do is I'll clear the bench off and get those pistons into a box, and then I can swing the transmission over onto there. And the beauty about the workbench is it's got big wheels on, so I can bring it under the hook, drop it down, and everything's great. And then we'll leave this one here for a little while until we need it. But yeah, it's not looking too bad. It's pretty clean inside. Always interesting to have a look at stuff, but by God, there's certainly, like this blue silicone, it's everywhere. But why was that leaking? And that oil looks like mucky old gear oil. It doesn't look like ATF, which is the red stuff. Let's get those pistons on. Having pulled the collar off here, we can probably see where the oil's been leaking from. The spring has come off the back of the seal. That's because it's been hammered in probably, instead of being pressed in evenly. We'll see more when shortly. So I thought it was gear oil, but it was just dirty ATF. Probably never been changed for years. I've got 2 bolts to come out of here, 2 out the bottom, top pin, and then we should be able to pull this apart. Right, let's see what we can find inside this box. I've got the drum screw out of the shifter, but sometimes they get a little bit of a burr on the end. Just don't want to come on. There, that bit there. What was that? That's it fell out. What was that? Let's see. Oh, that's good news. Filters looks nice and clean. Use that again. Something fell on the bench. Not sure what it was. Ooh. You can see perhaps the oil seal that's just been absolutely marmalised. Wonder if they have space to put things in. Casings look clean enough. Get the split collar off. Now while it's like this, we shall just have an inspect. And it doesn't look too bad at all. It turns nice, everything's nice. I'll pull off the collar, pull off the bearing, take off the nut, then I'll put a couple, that's what I should do first. Put a couple of temporary bolts through here to stop it falling apart, because then I'll put it in the frame and we'll lift off the gears and have a look inside and see what's going on. Where's my 13mm gone? Back in a bit. I just wanted to note there's quite a lot of end float on there, but so far it's so good, do you know what I mean? I think it's too bad. I'm just going to knock this nut off and put the frame on so we can take the top casting off. Right, let me knock this nut off. Right, here you go, let's go and take the cover off. I am absolutely blathered in oil, it's just bled all over me. Obviously it wasn't quite empty. Yeah, I've used my dismantling tool available in the shop just to get a start on opening this casing. Now we've got to pry off the dowels. Once we're off the dowels, we're home and dry. Well, without dropping it on the bench, of course. There's two of them diagonally opposite. Thrills and spills, eh? There we go. Right. Always a good idea to clear a bit of space. This big one gets stuck, there we go. At least it's not a TD5, it's not so long a shaft. Whoa! Look at them geary things and bearing-y, spinny things. They look lovely, don't they? Hey, look at that. Now I've already taken the spring out of there and the ball. I tell you something, boys. There ain't much wrong with that, and I tell you something, those bearings look beautiful. I don't think I'm even going to check them out. Well, I might just have a check at the synchros, but I'm not going to change the bearings. They're lovely. Well, it depends what they're like at the bottom, you know. It depends what they're like. Let's put our tool-o-matic on. And clinch up this. I really like this tool. I bet Ashcroft's gagging themselves to get one of them. This will keep the assembly together. Excellent. So now we can take that spinny thing off, and we should be able to push out our assembly and get that out of the way and drop my impact on the floor. Detent balls. Oh, actually, I'm not quite on line with the casing. There we go. Oh, that is such a good invention. There. That was easy, wasn't it? We didn't even drop our balls. So, it is looking superb. I've sort of struck lucky with that, with Joe Boxer again. I'm going to naturally take it apart, but I'm thinking of just ordering a set of synchro rings, and that's it. I'll take it apart later when if there's anything to report. I'll call you back. Well, call you back. I'll report back. But so far so good. Let's have a look at the casing, see if there's any teeth. Oh, there's my ball dropped out again, look. Might as well take that spring out before we lose it. What's that? Yeah. Honestly, the bearings just look like they've been put in. It's, you know, it's strange. It's like that Maxion engine. It was beautiful inside. But usually inside here, you find grubbings and bits of teeth and bearings and stuff. And it's kind of neat. So anyway, that's good. I hope you like that bit. At least we know where we're splodging now. Now, the whole idea about this is just, like I said, to clean and inspect and have a look. But like I say, there's no chips and, you know, no chips on those teeth. There's nothing. Oop, well, it might have been then. Sorry about that. Too slippy. Let's get it all cleaned up. This could be a cheap build, because if I don't need bearings, and obviously sometimes you don't need to keep replacing bearings and bearings and bearings. The sacrificial parts like the synchro rings, well, okay, but I think in my cupboard over there I have some sets of R380 synchros, bits and pieces of new stuff that I'll keep my order down to a minimum, but at least I don't have to change the main shaft. That's a beauty. So it begs to think, has this been rebuilt once before? Hey, I tell you what, let's have a look at the serial number on the box, because that'll give us a clue. And the answer is no. It's a 56J. It's a 56A suffix J. Now, why I looked at it was that if it has been an Ashcroft box in the past, what happens is that they grind that number off and they put their own number on. And if you ring them up, then you go, what a strange number this is. They'll tell you what the gearbox is and manufacture. Now, there was one thing I was going to have a look at while I was rambling on to you. Yeah, maybe. You can see this hasn't had regular oil changes. Can you see inside that casing there? See how there's a piece of light area there? Inside it's covered with a varnish, and this is what clogs filters up and clogs pumps up and things like this. But I'll get rid of all that lot somehow, because it's flaky. So I'll just use a bit. I think I'll use a bit of caustic to get that off. Now, there was one thing I was going to have a look at. Oh, that oil seal. Let's have a look at that. Right, here goes. This oil seal here. Well, I think it's seen better days. Oops. Zoom out, Mike. Don't be a prat. There's a seal, and there's a spring. The spring's got come off, and so I think somebody's been hammering that in See, they've had a job with it. You see where the rubber's split here. So what was it? This is one of those chicken and egg situations. Did they change the seal because it was leaking, or did they find out the seal was buggered and then they put this blue silicone on to stop it? Who knows the secret of the black magic box? Anyway, I'll get that transfer case off the parts washer, get these stuck in, and let's see what we need.